a literal flower, a map, and an angry person. Ryle is riled up. This is not a romance book. I'd be calling the police. No one wants to see the flowers in a studded boot. Sorry, that's ugly. Why would you do that? Why are you so aggressive? I think this is probably my first and last Colleen Hoover book. Hello, today I'm doing something different, which I'm really excited about. I'm doing a reading vlog. I've got my book here and I'm quite excited to read it. So, you've already seen the title, so you know what book it is. I'm just gonna hold up. It is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I've never read a Colleen Hoover book. This is my very first one, and she is quite popular on TikTok, but there are quite mixed opinions, and I'm interested to see what my opinion will be of her. So, I'm here to react live to this book, and this one was like one of her most popular ones on TikTok, so I do know some of the plot points in this book, but I'm interested to see how it all plays out. But I do know that this book has like a toxic relationship, so I've got some sticky notes and I'm going to be tabbing all the red flags that I pick up in the book, and I will go through them all. And of course I will share my thoughts along the way of reading the book, so you'll get like an ongoing review as I read it. But this video will probably have spoilers in it, so if you haven't read the book, maybe don't watch this video unless you don't care if you get spoiled. But if you have seen it, maybe it'll be fun to see my reaction of this book. But I'm interested to see if the hype is worth it, so let's get right into it. So, I thought it was weird enough that her name is Lily Bloom, but now I find out that her middle name is Blossom. Lily Blossom Bloom! Why? Literally why? And she wants to own a florist. Very on the nose, but like, for what reason? Lily Blossom Bloom. Who thought that was a good idea? So strange. I've just finished the first chapter and I've already used 4 tabs. And we just met the guy. Also, I forgot to mention before, because I was too caught up on her name being Lily Blossom Bloom, that I forgot to mention his name is Ryle. What kind of name is that? What kind of name is that? Ryle? And the homeless guy named Atlas? I didn't know he was homeless. I've heard of him before, obviously, on TikTok. Atlas, that's kind of weird too. Like, am I looking at a map? I don't understand what is with these names. A map, and he's homeless. He has nowhere to go in the map. Very weird. Anyway, I'm a chapter in. So I had a break since reading the first chapter and I ate some lunch and uploaded a YouTube video, but I came back and I picked up something again that I was like, oh, red flag. But originally I was going to save all the tabs for Ryle red flags, but then Lily just did something so out of pocket. Diary entries to Ellen DeGeneres. Why? Literally why? Why her? Why not anyone else? I don't understand. The Ellen DeGeneres hyperfixation. Why? Was it necessary? I don't know. I just thought it was really strange and I thought I had to share. So I'm about 80 pages in now and I thought I should give you a little update on where I'm up to right now. I have acquired 7 tabs, so I picked up on 7 different red flags, and at this point in time in the book, Lily has just opened up her floral shop and she's just had her first day and her first sale, which was when Ryle bought her some flowers. But so far they're not together, so I'm like waiting. I mean, we still got lots left, but I haven't read any of it today and it's like 5 o'clock, so I'm going to read some now. Hello everyone, it's been a couple of days and I have read a little bit more of It Ends With Us and I have accumulated a few more tabs. quite a few more. And I don't think I've gone a single chapter that Ryle is in that hasn't received a little red flag. But I thought I should give an update on what I've read so far, since I haven't in a while. But Lily and Ryle are now dating, and then we had our first incident when he pushed her in the kitchen and she hit her eye on the cabinet. And then we have our second incident. Ryle pushes Lily down the stairs, then Ryle gives Lily a concussion. So then she called Atlas and he took her to the hospital, and now she's at his house trying to stay away from Ryle. It's crazy. We also finished all the Ellen diaries, so we know all the past between Lily and Atlas. I don't know how I feel about the book so far. I don't think the writing's terrible, but I don't know if it's as good as I expected it to be since there was so much hype. I think I'm going to read the whole rest of this before I give another update, so I will have my final thoughts as the next time you see me. It's been about a week and a half since I finished It Ends With Us, and I think this is probably my first and last Colleen Hoover book. If you wanted a little tab update, there are the tabs, if you can see them all. There's a lot in there. And I would like to read out some of my favourites, so I will do that after I give my little review. If you like this book, I'm in no way bashing your reading taste, because I can see why people like it. The writing isn't terrible, but I just don't think it was up to the standards that I thought it would be. And now I will go into all the issues that I had with it, first being the names of the people. We've got a literal flower, a map, and an angry person. Ryle is riled up. Yes. I know there's some weird names in books, like you read fantasy books and those are some weird names, but this is like a contemporary book. You'd think the names would be normal. Not that they're so strange, but I think it was rather strange. I guess making strange names, if someone's going to talk about the people in the book, you know instantly what book it is. So, I don't know. But I just didn't like it. Another thing I did not like about the book, the Ellen diaries. I had mentioned that quite a bit in this vlog, but what was the reason? This book is basically Ellen fan club. Why? Why? So Colleen Hoover must love Ellen, a lot. But otherwise the story didn't wow me. The ending, I was not overly happy with the ending. It was predictable, the ending. Obviously they kind of set it up so that she would get with Atlas. And I guess that's what the second book is. What is it? It Starts With Us. I will not be reading that book. So I don't know, I assume it's a whole book on Lily and Atlas, but I don't really care. I don't really care about the characters. It was just mediocre. I didn't say, but I will say it now. I gave this book a 2.5 stars out of 5. That is in the middle, obviously. That's because it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either, so I'm just leaving it there. However, there are some terrible things about this book, so I'm kind of conflicted. Is 2.5 too high? I don't know. I feel like I wanted to rate it high because so many people love it, so I kind of put it in the middle. I think it was terribly marketed, absolutely horrible. Obviously this book is about, I'm gonna say, DV. That's what we say in legal studies. You know, domestic violence. You get the gist, and that is basically what the book is about. That's what the title is. It refers to the whole thing, and you read the blurb and there is nothing mentioning DV at all, which is a huge problem. But when reading the blurb, the most you would think is, possibly a love triangle, because it mentions two guys, and there is nothing at all to say that there is DV. In Ryle's section of the blurb, it says Ryle is assertive, stubborn, and maybe even a little arrogant, but he's sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily. Obviously not, if he was throwing her downstairs. So that's a huge issue, because people that have experienced that, or even if you haven't, it's distressing to read about, and I don't think it should have been marketed that way, as a romance. And it came out in 2016 and it won in the romance section for the Goodreads Choice Awards. And why is it classified romance? I don't understand. That is the top category it's categorized in. This is not a romance book. I hated that there was no repercussions for Ryle. He is the villain in the story, obviously, so I would have liked to see some jail time perhaps. Like, I can understand why Lily didn't want to go to the police because that's a very daunting thing to do, but to have him like still be in the books and still able to see the child, because they did have a baby together. Also, it was really unexpectedly gory. Like, when we found out that Ryle, you know, killed his brother, right? I didn't need that much detail. It made me feel rather nauseous. Like, if you know that bit, you know. Like, I don't even think I can describe it on here because it was very graphic. Also, another important thing to mention. I finished this book on the day that the It Ends With Us colouring book came out. It has since been scrapped. There will be no colouring book, but I don't understand what was going through Colleen's mind making a colouring book about a book that centres around DV. I don't understand. Like, the cover of the colouring book, it had, what, a stethoscope, some flowers, and like a bowl to represent each character, I guess, like the doctor, the florist, and the chef. It was definitely a cash grab. There was no need for a colouring book at all. And what would you even be colouring in when she got pushed down the stairs? Or probably most likely would be her ugly steampunk flowers. No one wants to see the flowers in a studded boot. Sorry, that's ugly. And the fact that in the back, like in the author's note, Colleen is saying how the events that were in this book were inspired by her own experiences and her mother's experiences. So, like, the whole pushing down the stairs and the grabbing of the hot pot and then being pushed into the cabinets of the kitchen, that happened to her mother. So the fact that she was writing this book out of her own personal experiences but still thought it would be a good idea to make a colouring book, I don't get it. And I know she has like decided not to do it anymore, but the fact that it was even an option, I don't know, because obviously this is my first Colleen Hoover book, but apparently she has another book that the main character is an artist. I'm pretty sure it's Confess. So people were like, why didn't she choose that book? Because it's actual art. Just because this was the most popular book, she decided to do a colouring book. Who wants a colouring book anyway? Like, do people want themed colouring books of their favourite book? I don't know. Anyway, I will read you some of the red flags that I had in here. Some were very mild, like just behaviour and like why would you do that, and some were actual like schmilance. The first one that I picked up, how would you not go, ooh, that's a bad person? Like, who would say that? So when Lily said, my father died this week, and then Ryle goes, nice try, I'm not falling for that. Who says that? Oh yes. The next one, when Ryle said, there is no such thing as bad people, we're all just people who sometimes do bad things. Excuse me? No, I strongly disagree, and you saying that is just excusing your own behaviour. Sorry, own up. Then I've got my tab for the Ellen Diaries, that's Lily's only tab that I've got. Oh yeah, when Ryle came up to Lily's apartment, literally stalking her, knocked on 27 doors or something like that to find where she lived, and then begged to have schmexy time with her. Next tab is on the next page because he would not leave and just kept asking. Next is just like awkward talking on Ryle's part when he was at dinner at Atlas's restaurant with Lily and her mum, and he said, I need to head to the gentleman's room. Just say the bathroom or the toilet. The gentleman's room? I'd be like, ugh, gross. That was more of an ick than a red flag. But next, him demanding Lily tell him if she told Atlas about their fight. Their fight? Excuse me. Ryle going through Lily's things, opening up her phone case, who would do that? You're snooping, and finding Atlas's phone number and calling it. Like, for what? That's none of your business. Perhaps just leave her personal belongings alone. Oh, pushing her down the stairs and then gaslighting her into saying that she fell. You pushed her. You pushed her. When Lily said, this is enough, get out, and Ryle just slept at her front door of the apartment. Literally just stayed out the front, what, so he could monitor when she left? Oh, I'd be calling the police. When he literally bit a chunk of her shoulder? What was that? What was that? Who would do that? Okay, so I didn't read all of the red flags just then, but those were some of the ones that I felt like had to be mentioned, and Absolutely wild. Absolutely out of pocket. Can he just go to jail already? Yeah, so that was all the red flags, and those are my final thoughts of It Ends With Us. And as I said before, I don't think I will be reading another Colleen Hoover book. But if you do have a favourite book of hers that you think I must read and give her another go before I finally say goodbye to Colleen Hoover, put your favourite book of hers in the comments and maybe I'll consider giving it a go. But yes, that was my final thoughts. 2.5 stars. If you want to share your own opinions of the book, leave it in the comments, and subscribe and like the video if you liked the video. And if you have any more books that you would like me to do a reading vlog for, or give my reactions and thoughts to, then put that in the comments also. There's a lot of things for you to comment right now. I'm going to give you a little recap of the things that you can comment. Your thoughts of the book, other Colleen books for me to try, and other books that you want me to do reading vlogs for. But for now, that is it. We're done, and I'm saying goodbye to this book. Goodbye. And goodbye to you as well. See ya. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it.